Cause I'm on another level. I'm bringing things to life like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, pedo, pedo, pedo.
Pulling strings like Geppetto.
Going back and forth. So then she was like, okay, how about this? I'm pretty sure you'll get approved. Just go ahead and sign it so you can get the injection done. And it said, like, if they don't approve this experiment or whatever, you will owe the office $300 or some dollars. So I was like, okay, man, as long as my insurance is gonna cover it, we could go ahead and do it. Signed it, boom, went ahead and went to go get the slope therapy, which is the injections. So when I was doing the scope therapy, I know like I told you, that particular doctor's office only does one leg at a time. You can't go in and get both legs done. They said that's how they do stuff. When I need to get the scope therapy done, talking to the people, the main doctor didn't do the injection. It was like an assistant or whatever who did them. I noticed the scope therapy is for the smaller veins, the more like cosmetic looking issues, because the big ropey type veins that could lead to like deep vein disease and stuff like that. But like the smaller ones, that was scope therapy handles. The spider veins, the smaller one that are just more like not cute to look at. So as she was doing them, I had like, she did the same thing. They numbed me up, kind of decided where they was gonna inject, and I had kind of like two like mini ones on like the side of my calf. So I said, oh, hey ma'am, on my calf, I have these two little ones in the corner, can you hit them? And then she was like, well, yeah, those are like really small and your insurance doesn't cover those. They cover the small ones, but not the really small ones. I was like, what? So I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay. So then she's like, yeah, for those, you're going to have to come out of pocket. So I was like, okay. And when I was coming in, mind you, this is a week after more like 2 weeks after the lasers. When I was coming in, they just told me, yeah, come in for the injections, no biggie. So at the end of her injecting me with the scope therapy, they then asked me if I brought my stockings. So I was like, oh, nobody from the office told me to bring my stockings. And I was just like, oh, this is not as invasive as the other kind. So then she was like, oh, well, yeah, we still prefer you put a stocking. So I said, well, okay, well, I have the stockings at home. I could just put them on when I get home. So they was like, no, this and that. And then all of a sudden they just brought a stocking and put it on. So I was just like, great. Y'all got another $40 out of me without me asking or whatever the case could be. Fine. Went ahead. They did the scope therapy injections in the right leg. Boom. So far I've gotten both legs with the laser ablation, and then I've gotten scope therapy, which are the injections in both legs. And the scope therapy doesn't hurt as much as the laser, but again, your legs are just beat up.
This is what my legs look like after the lasers. They're bruised up. They do hurt. They're very sensitive.
For the next month, my legs were just like a mess. I had black and blue. I did eventually start taking the ibuprofen, and then one of the ladies in the office told me to put arnica gel on my legs. I started to rub those on, so the bruising slowly but surely started to subside, but it was still really pretty badly bruised up. I started to see slight changes in the veins. I could definitely tell they were working. Then they scheduled me for my second laser ablation, which was a week later. Now, I am very much somebody who pays attention and observes everything, and you cannot BS a BSer. Now, as I'm having conversation with medical personnel or whatever the case may be, I'm straight up asking them yo, why are y'all sending all this stuff to my insurance company? And I was just like, it seems like y'all are changing the plan, because the doctor initially said this, and then now it seems like y'all are taking a whole different approach to me getting my legs done. So the person in the office was kind of like, well, don't worry about it. This is just the way we do things. If your insurance is gonna pay, we're just gonna make your insurance pay for it. We'll bill them. So to me, in my personal opinion, it seemed as if that doctor's office, because remember I told you I have really good medical insurance. It seems like that doctor's office caught on to the fact that my insurance was really good, and my insurance was actually like approving a lot of shit, because my insurance had even approved injections for like the next 6 months. So, and my insurance was pretty quick. So I think the doctor's office caught wind that like, oh well, we don't have to really fight with this patient's insurance like how they do have to do with a lot of clients. So what they were trying to do was just get, to my opinion, as much like money out of the insurance company as possible. Yeah, so I started to look at the doctor's office kind of sideways at Vein Clinics of America, because it seemed like they were just kind of finding every possible way to like just charge my insurance or whatever. And I didn't really like what that person in the office said to me. But I mean, it is what it is. My insurance was covering like 90 something, like almost damn near everything. I went ahead and just, kept on with the treatment. Now, it was my second vein ablation. The doctor then told me that this time, so when the doctor came in, I kind of questioned him. I was like, okay, so why did you extend the ablation to like a second treatment when initially you said that it could have been done with one treatment? So he's like, oh, well, yeah, just to make sure that we got the veins, and I'm actually going to flip you over on your stomach so we could get the veins from like the back of your leg or whatever the case may be. Whatever. We went ahead, did it. The second vein ablation hurt like a mother, because they was doing like the back. Like again, my left leg was straight. My left leg didn't have that much. It hurt, but like the back of my right leg was so painful. Like I was definitely like, after both legs were done, I was like limping out of there. It was just like, oh my gosh. So then I had to wait a week. And every time you get both legs done, you have to come back the following week and do like the same ultrasound thingy. The ultrasound where they go down your legs and like take pictures or whatnot. So far I have had the consultation, the ultrasound mapping, both days of when they did the first set of vein ablations. Okay. Then I had to come back and do an ultrasound. Both days of when they had to do the injections, ultrasound. Then I had to do laser ablation for the two legs again. So the consultation, you don't pay for that. So I had 9 times when I went to the office, and my copay was $20. Now I'm bringing it into let it make sense. So I come in after a week, did the re-up for the ultrasound of my legs after my second vein ablation. Now, I don't know if the doctors knew this, but with my personal insurance, I can go into my member portal and see the charges that comes in, and how much my insurance was covering and what they paid. Now, in all those treatments, easily this office got over like $10,000 from my insurance. It was a lot of money. Like I was looking at what they was like, the office built them. It was a lot of money that I didn't have to pay for, because it was from my insurance. But then I was just like, yeah, this is a lot of money, that every little thing they're charging my insurance. So I was just like, man, like thank God I have good insurance right now. So here's where things kind of went sour with Vein Clinics of America. Not even sure if I'm gonna go back to them. Plus this whole coronavirus COVID-19 thing is going on. So almost all medical, if it's elective surgeries, are being put on pause. So mind you, I told y'all I was approved for the laser ablations and the injections of slow therapy already via my insurance. Now, when I came in the week after to do my second set of injections, they present me with the same paperwork that I got weeks prior, talking about the experimental situation and this and that. So it was a different representative at the front desk. So when they presented me with this, I was like, hey, well, I got this probably a little over a month ago. Do you know if my insurance even covered this additional charge or whatever the case may be? So he was like, let me check. He went, he looked, and he's like, it's still pending. So I said, I'm still confused as to what I might be charged for, because if my insurance is covering the injections, why am I being charged? You guys saying I might be charged for something else. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. So I don't know if they're just not used to people questioning them. The two people at the front desk just kind of gave each other this like deer in headlights look. And they were like, well, you know, it just highly suggests. I like, okay, yeah, I know that. But if I don't need it, why are you guys trying to let me have it? They were like, oh, well, you know, it's a situation that it helps the doctor that somebody else is in there guiding him as he does the injections. So I was like, the doctor can't do it by himself? And they was like, well, yes. I said, okay, so essentially this additional $300 that I might get charged that my insurance might cover is something that is not necessary. And I said, I'm asking this again. So they really didn't have any answers for me. So then as I look at this same paper the second time, but the first time around, it was boxes on the bottom that had stuff like medically necessary. They had like 6 different boxes. The first paper had medically necessary. So that's when I signed it the first time. Now the second time around with the sclerotherapy injection, on the box, it said not medically necessary. So I asked the gentleman who was in the front desk, I was like, can you go get a copy of the old one I signed? He said yes. He printed it. I put both papers together because he was like, well, yeah, it's no big deal. You signed this already a month ago. So I compared the two papers in front of me, and I'm like, yeah, this one says medically necessary and this one says not medically necessary. What's the difference? So again, both of them at the front desk are looking at each other like, oh shit, like this fool is catching on or whatever. I don't know. So he was like, give me a second, let me make some phone calls. So he starts making a phone call and he's on the phone for like 10 minutes. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not about to go ahead and sign this paper and y'all are telling me y'all not even sure if my insurance covered this experimental additional thing you guys suggest, but you guys are telling me to go ahead and sign it and just get the procedure done. So again, they didn't really have straightforward answers for me. Then he came back and told me something to the effect of like, oh, well, yeah, it's not medically necessary, but your insurance covers the medicine. They don't cover the injection. So I was like, what? I said, that makes no sense. I was like, that makes absolutely no sense. So I'm like full out like Olivia Pope in this office. Like, yo, this don't make no sense. Like, I honestly feel like you guys, and I told him, I honestly feel like you guys are trying to get as much money out of me and my insurance company at the same time, because y'all are seeing my insurance are like is approving everything. So they were like, no, Mr. So-and-so. And I said, yeah. I said, you guys know that I can like literally go on my insurance portal and see how much you guys are charging. These procedures are hella expensive. And every time I come in here, I'm paying $20. Plus y'all are telling me, yeah, my insurance covers something. I already have to pay a copay. Plus y'all want me to go ahead and possibly pay something else. So I said I could go ahead and get these other injection and this experimental treatment done, and it's going to be almost a $600-700 bill. Plus y'all done charge my insurance company over $10,000. So they kind of were just looking at me like this. So the other girl in the office, she said something like, well, how about we just do an ultrasound for your legs? And I was like, why would I do an ultrasound if I'm not coming to get my second set of injections? So she was like, oh, well, I don't know, like, you know, since you're here. And I said, okay, me doing an ultrasound on my legs, that's money for you guys because y'all are going to bill my insurance and my insurance always covers it. So no, I said, if you guys can't let me go get what my insurance company covered, I don't want no other experimental code or whatever crap y'all are suggesting. I said, I don't want to pay anything extra because y'all, this $300 bill is still lingering as a possibility. So they just kind of were like dumbfounded and stuck. So like I'm just in the office kind of going back and forth with them. So I said, how about this? I'm gonna call my insurance because I said I don't like what's going on in here. And I said, and until that first set of injections gets approved, because y'all added that thing y'all made me sign, I said I'm not gonna come back. So they were like apologizing about the confusion, and they said like, oh well, you know, this whole medical thing is confusing to people. And I was like, no, it's not confusing. I said I have a lot of friends in the medical field, and I just know in the medical field it's a money grab, and pretty much doctors' offices try to get as much money from the insurance companies, and the insurance company try to block as many things as they can so they won't cover. And like I said, as somebody who is blessed right now to have great insurance, I knew that a lot of the treatments, majority of the treatment will be covered. So so far I've only had the 2 laser sessions on my feet, and I had 1 sclerotherapy session. I didn't get my second session because of that BS they pulled. So overall, I am seeing some improvement. They did say that sometimes it's called like staining, where you're like, because essentially the veins just die. They're killing the veins, and then the blood is having to reroute in another vein. So your body has to naturally just get rid of the vein, and that just takes time. I honestly thought it would have been something instant. It's really not that. It takes a while for it to dissolve. They said it could take up to a year. So, you know, just been rubbing my juices and berries and coconut oils on my legs. It's gotten a lot better. I've seen the improvement, but I definitely do want to get like, cause now it's more so like just the tiny veins. The big clusters of vein, they pretty much dissolving from what it used to be. So hopefully by, you know, this summer I can have a hot boy summer, you know, and put all my short pants and walk on the beach or whatever the case may be. So from a scale from 1 to 10 as far as the procedure itself, as far as pain level, I'm gonna say pain level, because I have a high tolerance for pain, is like 7.5, because the laser, it really didn't hurt when because you know they inject you with the numbing cream, the numbing solution, and then they kind of essentially go in and, you know, like when you snake a drain for like something that's clogged up, they essentially just like stick something up, and then when it heats up, that's when it hurts. And they go all the way up to your groin, like they go up to like the crease in where your, you know, your thigh and your pubic area is. They snake all the way up to there. So it was painful as shit, and I was like, please don't let this thing go touch my nuts, because I was gonna sue the shit out of Vein Clinics of America, because I want kids. But anyway, so the pain is like 7.5. My experience with Vein Clinics of America, I don't know right now, because if they don't get that together, like, you know, I felt like it was some shady stuff going on. Again, I don't want to speak as a whole, as to judge the whole corporation, but just that I really feel like they were trying to finesse me. Update: they did call me probably like a week and a half ago and told me that that experimental treatment for the first set of injections was not covered, and they told me like, yeah, unfortunately your insurance covered everything else but that, so we are going to have to send you a bill for $300 and something. So now if I had went ahead and got the second set of injections, I would have been having a bill for almost like $700. So mind you, I contested while in the office, like, yeah, I don't want to pay anything extra, only give me the treatments that my insurance covered. And, you know, they try to tell me like, no, your insurance is going to cover it, just sign it, it's just a procedure with all our patients, and it was bull crap. So yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to my insurance about that because I feel like I was finessed with that. And yeah, so I'm gonna probably do a update video. I'm going to look for another vein clinic so they could just do like the injections for the smaller veins. But like, yeah, my legs look a lot better now. If you have any questions, let me know. But just a quick suggestion: if you're going to do this, try your hardest to try to get this done through your insurance. It's going to save you a lot of money. Hopefully you have good insurance. Anyways, you guys, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions about the vein issues, hit me up, let me know. This corona thing is crazy. I'm just trying to crank out all these videos for you guys. Follow me on all platforms. Everything is Geppetto. I love y'all. Get them legs together. Get them veins eradicated. Peace.